All right, guys, we're here with Zach Fruehe, one of the co-founders here at the Visionary Group, my partner. We originally collaborated on Dogged Sportswear together, one of our first brands where we rebranded Yoke Club into Dogged. That's sort of where Zach and I met back in, was it
Way back
2022
when.
or 2021?
No, it was earlier than that. It was 2021, but then like the launch, I think was January 1st, 2022.
Yeah, so we've been working together for a little bit now, and then we started TVG from conception. Zach was there, and now he's pretty much COO, handling all operations on TVG. So we really want to get his insight on what he's seeing behind the scenes and like what's working with our clients, and give you a little bit more in-depth analysis on the growth track and what's going on with TVG. So you want to intro yourself a little bit more, what you're about and what you're doing here at TVG, baby?
What I'm about, man. Yeah, no, I could take it a few different ways, but just to keep it like short and sweet, I feel like where we've really morphed the whole operational service delivery side of TVG has just been to, get our clients results, right? At the end of the day, that's what's going to make us the most happy. That's what's going to make our clients the most happy. It's how can we make our clients more money, and how can we do it in the shortest and most effective amount of time. Um, but what am I about? I'm about team synergy. I'm about keeping it fun, keeping it lighthearted with the clients. I think we have a lot of strengths that some of these big agencies and corporations, marketing corporations don't have, and that's like personality. And we actually like understand the consumer of who we're advertising to. So I think that's is a huge thing that whenever we hire people onto our team to build the ops and build the service delivery, something that we look for, and I think our partners definitely see that within our team. So what am I about? I'm about team synergy. I'm about bringing our clients performance, keeping it fun, keeping it light, and growing. We're in a stage of huge momentum and growth with all our different offers that we have. So what that means is just adding fuel to the fire. And to do that on my side, it's putting the people in the right positions, making sure that the protocols and workflows are operating in the most effective standard and efficiency. So we can just begin to build. So super, super vague, but I can get into like nitty gritty if you have finer questions on like the growth track and kind of where we're at right now in servicing our clients, because it's kind of been an evolution, as you've seen over the past 2 years of, where we started servicing clients and now where we kind of found our bread and butter in the space.
Yeah, maybe talk about like last year or when we started, like then versus now, really like focusing on this year because I know we launched the growth track like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, maybe longer
Yeah.
than that actually. But we've been really honing in on it this year, and that's really going to be what we, ride on all of 2024. So maybe how did we come up with the growth track? Why does it work for us and our clients? And like what are we
Yeah.
really focusing on with the growth track?
Mhm. So, like the growth track as a whole, I think it came to an idea because I think when we first started as a company, we had this holistic approach to marketing as a whole, which makes sense on paper, right? You don't want to tackle just one piece of marketing. It definitely takes like the entire flywheel to make it come to life, right?
Yeah.
However, you do have to meet partners where they are lacking, and not everyone has tens of thousands of dollars to hire a creative agency to run everything effectively, organic, social, paid, Klaviyo, like all that stuff efficiently. So you have to kind of meet them where they're at to, see where they can actually have effective wins. And so what I think the growth track does is it does exactly what I said. It meets the client to where they're at, in really two main pillars. One of them being if the company has an issue of attracting eyeballs, and attracting customers, putting them in the funnel for paid advertising, and that could be the first step to our growth track. However, if they do have a lot of customers coming in at a solid customer acquisition cost, but their LTV, the lifetime value, is maybe lacking, we can come in and help them with customer retention through email marketing, using Klaviyo. So those are our two main kind of pillars right now. So acquiring customers as low as possible through paid advertising on various platforms right now. Meta and TikTok and Google are going to be our pretty much our main trifecta, and then keeping them around through email marketing, in Klaviyo. So that's kind of like where we are headed. like just focusing on honestly not too many things, but the two main drivers that can really turn a company from, maybe being break even and hitting the same numbers to being, profitable and scaling, which is how can we acquire more customers at the cheapest cost possible, and how can we keep them around. And there's a lot of other factors that come into it, branding, organic stuff like that. But those are really, I think, what we see our strong suits are as a company, and have the ability to scale, right, and put the right butts and seats, to bring on more partners and kind of copy paste what we're doing for the people that we got going on right now.
Yeah, I really want to like talk in the perspective if, a business owner, brand owners watching this right now, maybe like a smaller business or startup
Mm-hmm.
or, under that $1 million a year type customer or client of ours. So because I know we do for some of our clients, we actually do offer like creative,
Mm-hmm.
organic, and we like manage some large pages, YouTube channels, Instagram pages, TikToks. But then we used to do that for some of our maybe startup type clients, but which I mean, we provide great product and we're gonna do an awesome job. But maybe talk about like the pitfalls if someone were to be looking at their business right now and being like, okay, I want to hire an agency. Where should they like really focus on first? Because they can throw money at like a full service agency that's doing the paid advertising, email, content, like everything like that. Or like where should they be really focused on? You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
No, I kind of get your question. I think it goes back to like what separate why are they a company themselves? Like what is their product different for that someone would grab their product versus someone else? So for example, with some of the clients that we work for, like you mentioned, the higher end clients that we do some organic social media marketing for, it makes sense because people on their team might be a celebrity. They might have a great face. Their organic is already going to work.
Mhm.
However, if we jump in with a startup that's been trying to do organic for a year and they don't have that wow factor, they don't have any engaging content, us coming in and doing more of that content isn't going to do anything different. All it's going to do is we're going to charge them for it and it's not going to go anywhere, right? But if maybe organic content's not their thing and they have an insane product and they have a really good offer that we can offer on the front end because they have really good margins, say free trial, um, buy one, get one free, like an insane no brainer offer. Maybe we look at paid advertising so we can get some new eyeballs and acquire customers at a cheaper rate than we would like or in an organic front. Um, and then, branding wise, like if someone has super good branding and they're already crushing it on paid advertising and organic, but their emails are not matching that branding, you can kind of see where the company is falling, and then you have to like lean into where you think the lowest hanging fruit word to be to acquire that customer, because like it all goes back to like customer acquisition cost. If it's super cheap for you to get a million eyeballs on a viral video, without paying for it and doing it like on TikTok, that's going to be your bread and butter. Like if I'm a drop shipping company, drop shipping TikToks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do paid advertising on Meta. It's really seeing where you're going to get those eyeballs and acquire those customers and then keeping them around for as cheap as possible. But it's valuing the company, right? We had a lot of downfalls early on, 2 years ago. I think with TVG, with trying to sell a playbook that wouldn't work for every single company. So now if we do have these bigger clients, what we do is internally we have to audit them for like a week to even see if what we are going to service them for is going to make sense and is going to like turn out to be an actual profitable investment for them.
Yeah, I think the best relationships we have is when we're because we are a marketing agency as is, growth partner, whatever you want to call us, but we are in charge of the marketing. And I think branding is sort of different and that the business owner or the internal team should be in charge of the branding because when someone tries to hire us to do their branding, we're not going to know your brand better than you. And that's like
Exactly.
the main sale proposition is your brand and who you are. And it should be up to the owners and the internal team to like create that. We're just here to like amplify it and get eyes on it and then get you customers. So then
It's
if your brand doesn't
yeah.
work or you don't have any like meaning or value to the brand, I promise you, we're going to get eyes on it and want to get people there, but people may purchase it. That's like how it growth track,
It's that's a
the growth
yeah.
framework is all about like CAC and LTV will get you, a lower CAC if you have awesome branding. You'll have a higher LTV if you have awesome branding. So it's really like a 50-50 because a lot of people think, okay, you're going to hire an agency, they're going to do everything for you. I promise you it's not that easy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If you're hiring us to do paid advertising, we're going to be doing paid advertising, not your entire. Although we operate internally, like we are your entire marketing team
Yeah.
and operation and stuff, we can only do so much. If you have bad branding, if you have bad, whatever it may be, we're going to make it known, but we're going to try our absolute best for it to work. But at the end of the day, we don't own the brand. We don't own the key messaging and all that stuff. We're going to try to weave it to work in our favor. But I think that's a common misconception. Again, I would say with probably some of our, you know, smaller partners that we've worked with in the past who, we do want to like, carry the boats for them. But at the end of the day, we do operate as just a small sliver of the whole pie.
Yeah. What would you say too with someone, a business owner that may have been burned by agencies or are looking to hire their first agency? Like, what's the difference from hiring in-house to hiring an agency? Like, what's the pros and cons to that?
Yeah.
Because I know we hear that a lot of like, oh, I'll just hire in-house or I'll get an agency. Like, who's what's more appropriate of, hey, you should probably hire in-house or hey, you should, get an agency.
Yeah. So there's a few, and I think it's funny. Whenever we've heard we'll hire in-house quite often, and I don't believe anyone that we've talked to actually have ever followed through with it. They'll probably either jump to another agency, or they just will stop doing the service themselves entirely. But when you hire, I'm going to say growth partner instead of an agency. You're hiring for the expertise, and you're hiring to not have any internal onboarding. You're hiring for peace of mind because you know that we've done this time and time again, especially when you hire an agency who is niche down within your specific industry, right? Health, fitness, supplement coachings, stuff like that. We've seen the playbook being run time and time again. It's almost like hiring a coach. It's like why you hire a coach so you can get the knowledge and learn the information at a sped up rate. You're paying for failures that we've already seen and how to like navigate those failures. So ultimately, it is to save you money in the long run and to save you time with getting an in-house person or a group or a department. There's a lot of headaches that come involved with that. You got to onboard them to internal processes. You got to onboard them to payroll. And if you let them go, you got to offboard them and all those logistical nightmares and stuff like that. So it's a speed and a money thing, and an expertise thing. That I think people like. It's a lot easier said than done. I think everyone wants to have like an internal team just to like own the team. Um, but I see it as, if you're an experienced founder, if you're an experienced business owner, you want the best of the best in your team. And you don't see an agency as like, working with other competition. You see an agency as someone who has eyes on the competition, who knows exactly, what's already working in your industry, and in your set niche. So again, pros and cons to both. Obviously, we're going to lean more towards growth partners, but we've seen both in action, and obviously, I think growth partners is definitely the way to go, especially with this whole remote culture of like fractional CMOs and fractional marketing departments and things like that. Just a good way to share knowledge, and I think save the company money and time at the end of the day.
Yeah, because that's what I kind of see too with agencies or growth partners, especially with like some of these bigger clients, is they have a lot more on the line, even if you hire someone, what I've seen is like your in-house team, there's yeah, they're getting paid salary, they're getting this, that, whatever, and they have a position, but the agency has their reputation on the line. And to further grow their business, they need to do such a good job for you that they're you're spreading their name word of mouth or
Mhm.
giving them referrals. So I feel like they're here to out hustle some of your team and like expose some of the in-house team of what maybe needs to change or even like give you advice or plug some people into your company to help you grow further because those are the biggest things that I've seen, especially with a smaller agency. This may not be talking about a corporate type of agency,
Mhm.
but maybe like a boutique agency or growth partner like us is like, okay, we're here to like just get results. Like that's what it's all about if we're not getting results. So, and a great agency or growth partner will like get you results. And so you don't have to worry about at the end of the day whether or not you're going to get results because then they just won't be there, you know? So I feel like it's just less of a risk and it's a great way to like test new things and get a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah, no, we operate specifically on numbers at the end of the day. Like we kind of do treat ourselves as a data company versus if you hire in house, it's more so on not even output, just time. Like if someone's there, if they're showing up, putting in the hours, and but with our marketing, it does come down to numbers at the end of the day. And if the numbers don't line up, we have decisions to make. So I think that's a very good point that I think I overlooked, and definitely the comparison between our small team that almost does feel as if it's an extension of an internal team. But operating as if we are our growth partners and not, that that headache of hiring a one internal person, but you're actually, hiring a team at the fraction of the cost.
Yeah, talk about too, because I know, especially being in this game for a few years now, that we beat out some corporate agencies or like bigger agencies than us, and people would probably be like, why would someone hire someone like us, like a growth partner who may have a smaller team and just a little bit less experience versus like a big corporate agency, like, that is generated hundreds of millions of dollars on their own and stuff and have like this crazy high quality type look on their content and just like done all these big things. Like what are the biggest things that you've seen and even our clients have said about us compared to the corporate agency that might have burned them? Or so someone, a business owner
Mm-hmm.
right now that's looking and deciding between the two, or someone that's been burned by like a corporate agency and like what's going to change if they, go with a growth partner type.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And we've heard this directly from our partners that have swapped over from bigger corporate agencies to us. A lot of it is lack of execution. So they'll talk everything pretty. They'll say they want to do everything, whether it be offers, landing pages, and there's a real big lack of execution. Um, and they just, quite frankly, like we operate a million miles per hour, and we do it like effectively, and that's like without overlooking details and the fine print. We just move fast because at the end of the day, it's like, they're our partners. We treat their precious ad spend and, marketing budget if it's ours, and we have like a true care to where, again, a lot of these bigger, companies, they might not feel the pressure of the performance that we do, especially as the owners ourselves. Like, me and you are hopping on these partner calls, so we definitely have the feeling that we have true skin in the game. Whereas some of these bigger, corporate agencies that, although credit to them, like they want to grow and they want to be big, that I don't think that's like a really big, goal for us. Our goal is more so how can we service the clients best, and we see the best results with keeping the team close knit and tight knit, and then putting the pressure on the rest of our team members. Yeah, so I think that's probably one of the biggest things. It's just like a level of care, a level of the ability to take initiative on products. Sorry, not products, on projects that we've heard for clients. They might get good numbers and stuff like that, but if you're bouncing around different ideas and stuff, they're not really seeing a full fledged execution on new initiatives.
Yeah. Um, Sweet. Yeah, I like sort of that comparison and like trying to, really guide these people that may be hiring new agencies or just getting into the agency game of like what they should expect as a business owner. But I want to dive a little bit more into
Re-
what we're going to say.
Yeah, let me really quick before I forget this. Another thing is like just true like problem solving. It kind of goes back to that whole caring aspect. But if we're like say running a paid advertising campaign and we're seeing a fallout on email or a fallout on like the website or something, we have that level of care, I think, and like authenticity to like bring it up to the client. Whereas I think that would definitely be overlooked at big agency. If it's like I'm gonna just go to work, stay in my lane, and do my business as like a paid advertiser. But as us, like we're kind of everywhere, and I think a lot of partners kind of like our scrappiness, And in turn, it's just to have them, ask us questions like way outside of our scope of services, to just like get our opinion on, which I think that level of trust just comes with our authenticity and our care to like actually deliver true results. So I think, that that little problem solving aspect, like being an entrepreneur within like their own business, definitely shines through with our small tight knit group.
Yeah, I've seen some scary things too, where it's like, it's funny because this whole digital marketing game is evolving so fast, and a lot of people that maybe have been in the game a little bit longer than others, or maybe retail heavy or not too aware of like numbers and stuff, that they'll pull all this data or case studies with like with analytics that don't matter at all. So it's like
Mm.
we've achieved a million views or like 25 million views this month, and they're like, oh my gosh. But it's like, yeah, you're gonna get views if you spend more money. It does, like, views don't matter. It's about like actually making money off those views and stuff. I've
Mm.
seen that with big corporate agencies to where they're just like, or they're talking about blended ROAS, and they're talking about that, which is like, it's a good metric to look at. But or if you're already pumping organically, a ton of revenue, and you're looking at blended ROAS for an agency that's just focused on your digital marketing, that's kind of scary because they're not really being truthful in a way, and they're just trying to like be like, oh, here's some like good numbers that look good on paper but actually aren't driving any results. And we've seen that so many
Oh
times
yeah.
from bigger agencies.
Yep. No, I think we pride ourselves too in our just transparent reporting. Like if stuff's down, we're going to let you know it's down and why it's down and what we're going to do to, bring it back up.
Yeah, it's always just about iterating and learning. And there's been like some clients that have been around for so long where maybe we weren't hot out the gates, because it does take a lot of time and effort, where we might have come out with an offer that didn't work fresh out the gate, or, something. Uh,
Yep.
we're gonna like talk about it,
Pivot.
solve it, and then keep iterating until it works. And then
Yep.
some of those clients are still around because your expectation shouldn't be like, oh, you're gonna just flip a switch. Like, that's just not how it's gonna work.
Nope. That's why it's the growth track. Yep. It's not the growth button. Wish it was though.
No, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more just like on the strategy side, like what you're seeing on the back end, and maybe some like latest trends you've seen in 2024, and maybe what you're looking forward to or testing out, or think what's going to be working, sort
Hmm.
of like broad, maybe closer to like paid advertising, because I know a lot of people focus more on paid advertising, or as like a holistic approach of how to tie together paid advertising and email. But like, what are you seeing maybe as some business owner trying to come on here, of how they can integrate or get their first step into the growth track, how they can actually like do it themselves? Like, what's that,
Hmm.
what's the strategy, like what's that proprietary strategy that they should like focus on, that maybe they could do themselves, if they just want to try it themselves?
Okay, that's good. I kind of like that question. So a low budget kind of do it yourself style growth track.
Yeah.
Honestly, like what I would do. So this is what I would do if I was a business owner. So just starting up a Shopify store. I got a few product SKUs. I would first set up my Klaviyo email flows before I start to funnel any traffic, organic, paid, anything.
And
This
I
is
don't even
just
think
your
that's for anyone, like any online
anyone,
business,
any online
because
business,
I see
coaching,
so many
e-commerce.
people
It's so
not have
overlooked because
that.
people think email is dead, but you still look at your email inbox. I look at all my email notifications. It's the cheapest. It's the cheapest, customer retention tool there is. So I'd set up my four main flows: my browse abandonment, my abandoned cart, my welcome series, and maybe like a post purchase product flow. And I would set those up before I run any traffic, before I start my Instagram page with my link in bio and stuff like that. And then obviously get the organic running. And then if I were to go tap into, paid media, I would have I would have a full funnel approach.
So you're saying you
Um,
do that before too, like
100%
do all
email.
that stuff before paid advertising.
Yeah, again, because you want to retain the customers, right? You want to
Yeah.
have as many touch points, and it's free. It's a set and forget it thing. Maybe update it once a quarter, and then once you do begin to build that list by acquiring customers through either organic or paid, you could shoot out weekly campaigns, newsletters, things like that to actually like nurture your community and not just being super salesy.
And that's
Um,
why it's important too, because like you want to make the most out of your ad spend. You don't want to just like out
exactly.
the gate start paid ads
You
because there's
can't you
so
can't
many
bank on the
people.
one purchase to come through. You can't.
Exactly. Because like then you need to like do everything in your power to not make it paid advertising and then put it into paid advertising so you get the most out of your dollar. Because so many people will be like, oh, Facebook ads just don't work. But it's because they've just not had the right strategy or look on it.
Exactly. And on Facebook, kind of what I was going to say is you can't just take a one-dimensional product conversion campaign approach. You need to take a multi-dimensional approach to where you have top of funnel. Maybe you don't even do conversion campaign. Maybe you just do video views. If you're truly new and no one knows about your company, your branding, your messaging, get some views on your campaign so your pixel can start to warm up. So then you could retarget those video views in the bottom of the funnel with someone who's actually already warm. So maybe it's their second, third time seeing your product, and you could hit them with an offer at the bottom of your funnel 15-20% off their first purchase with a code, something super easy. Or you can go pretty aggressive and make it like a no-brainer offer that's like pretty aggressive. And if you don't do that at the bottom of the funnel, I would do it if you do a conversion campaign at the top of the funnel, it's got to be highly competitive. Don't do a full price product. Low ticket stuff is working really well right now. We know that with a few of our partners. So freebies, sample packs, whatever you can do to get a customer in the door. And again, this is why it's so important to have your email flow set up. And at the base, if you don't even have your email flow set up, make sure you have some sort of email platform so you're capturing their information. Because even if it's in Shopify, you can export that to a third party application. But if they do purchase at something super low, you can plug in those audiences, then retarget onto Facebook, hit them with like a full price catalog campaign. So kind of in a nutshell, multi-funnel approach, sorry, not multi-funnel, multi-level approach to your marketing funnel, because no longer on Facebook, people who are saying Facebook's dead is they're just trying to throw up a conversion campaign and have people purchase product. So that's what kind of I would do at a super high level summed up.
Yeah, I think it's crazy too, because even the past like month or so, some of the big brands that we've talked to, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have any of this set up, or even if you're a bigger brand, like don't feel like you're like it's the end of the world right now. Like if you go
Yeah.
do it right now, because there are big brands that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars that actually don't have this stuff in place. And you wouldn't even realize, like from the outside, you think everything's like, perfect. And then you go in and it's like just a crap show. It's just crazy and nothing's organized. And there's
Yeah.
no, like, they don't have these fundamentals set up, which is leaving millions of dollars on the table. That's why it's good to set up before, like, if you're interested in working with us or wanting to implement the growth track framework, like this is good stuff to like set up before you do anything to scale, or even if you're going to work with another agency, because they're going to charge you so much money to like set these basic things up, which is good for you to learn. So then you understand the metrics, like how to actually use these platforms so they can't like screw you over or anything. And just like pretty much lie to your face, and you have these things set up to where you can properly scale. Because if you don't have these flows, if you don't have all this, like it's great to set up, but if you need help doing it, like we are totally open to that. But I think those are like very fundamental things.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I wanted to keep it pretty light and fundamental, because someone new can be very intimidated by all of the different facets of digital marketing. And like it is overwhelming. Like you see, I gotta do Google ads, I gotta do TikTok ads, and then I gotta get on TikTok shop, and then I gotta get on Meta, and I gotta do all this, where companies who have huge budgets and stuff, they're working towards that. But if you're just a beginner, again, have the foundation for success set up at the cheapest way possible, which is, having your email funnel, and then begin to, work in new eyes and traffic. And again, we didn't even really touch on like organic strategy at all. But if that's where your eyes are coming from, have your email set up before that too as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that was good, dude. I don't want to keep it too long and just like rant or anything, but if you guys, need any help or are interested in the grow track or just want to ask more questions, like feel free to book a call, but join our school community too, where we all live in there as well. So you can ask questions about maybe if you heard Zach talking about setting up your flows, or even if you're confused what email flows means, because I know some of you guys may not even know that. Um, Feel free to like hop in our school and ask, or if you want to ask some high level questions, or even help, you know, sh- give us access and help you audit, what you got going on right now. Feel free to like book a call and then we can totally help you out, because I think this is stuff that's super important if you're trying to get into business and the ecom game. And if you're really looking to scale. So that's really what we're here to do, is scale
Yes,
businesses,
sir.
and we're excited.
Yep. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace out, guys.